Prynawn da, a chroeso I ddinas Cardiff ac I ceremony radio Prifysgol Cardiff. Good afternoon and welcome to the City of Cardiff and to the graduation ceremony of Cardiff University. I'm Louise Casella and it's with great pleasure and a shared sense of pride that as University Director I welcome you all to today's graduation ceremony. We are here to celebrate our students' achievements and I'm particularly pleased to welcome parents, family and friends to join in this celebration. Students, today marks a marvellous milestone in your life, as it does in the lives of those who supported you over the last few years. It's a day to enjoy and to celebrate with those who have been your supporters over the years of studying, and it's good to see that so many family and friends are here today. My job, before the formal proceedings get underway, is to spend a few moments going through procedures for the ceremony, in the hope that this will enhance your understanding and enjoyment of the day. For those of you receiving an award, perhaps you thought passing your exams was the biggest challenge in gaining your degree. No, an even bigger challenge faces you now. You still have to cross this stage, shake hands with the correct person, and try not to seek your award from anyone other than the Vice-Chancellor. Fiona Peel, representing the University President, will formally open proceedings, and the Vice-Chancellor, Dr. David Grant, will receive you to your award. You've already met our Chief Marshal, Professor David Williams, and shortly I'll be joined here on stage by academic staff, presenters, proclamation reader and the representative of the Students' Union, Katie Dobbs. To my right will sit Professor Atkinson, the University's orator, and later he'll introduce our Honorary Fellows. Honorary Fellowships are awarded at our graduation ceremonies to those who have achieved international distinction in their field. And today we're honoured to welcome Miss Sarah Parkin and Miss Elaine Morgan. You'll see that the words used for the various stages of the ceremony are printed in your programme. A presenter will read out the names of the students being admitted to the same award. When each name is called, the student will ascend the stage, walk towards the Vice-Chancellor and shake his hand. Please do so gently, as you can imagine that shaking hands with some 6,000 graduates across these graduation days can take its toll. While past experience has shown that this simple process does sometimes be a little more challenging for some, don't worry. Your approach to the stage and your return to the seat will be guided by our marshals, and once the ceremony is underway, it really is a case of follow the leader. When you leave the stage, you'll stand with your group facing the Vice-Chancellor, who will formally receive you to your awards. You'll doff in reply and are then reseated by the marshals. When all awards have been received, students will be asked to stand to receive the University's greetings. I'm sure I don't have to remind you that St David's Hall is non-smoking. Can I also ask how many of you have got your mobile phones with you here today? Perhaps you'd just like to check your pockets and handbags and just check that those phones are switched off or switched to silent, please. We will be providing some musical entertainment later in the ceremony, and I can assure you it will be better than anything your combined ringtones can produce. This is a day of celebration, and your cheers and applause for your loved ones are welcome and are encouraged. Please do make lots of noise. But can I ask you to do so only after the Vice-Chancellor has admitted each group of graduates to their awards, and please not as each one crosses the stage, in order that your hands and voices are still functioning by the end of the ceremony and we do get home before dark. The ceremony will now proceed with a road procession of academic staff led by the Chief Marshal. Thank you for listening. Enjoy your day, enjoy the ceremony and be proud. Thank you.
Brynan da. Croeso cwnis ac I gyd. Croeso I Cardiff in Nwy Biosciences. Good afternoon. Welcome to Cardiff and to St David's Hall. To overcome the anonymity of these caps and gowns, may I first introduce myself. I'm Fiona Peel, and I'm a member of the University's Council here in Cardiff. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony, or congregation, as it is more accurately called. In so doing, I wish to extend a particularly warm welcome to those parents, partners, and others whose support for the celebrating their degree today will have played a major part in their achievements. May I also add my personal congratulations to all of you who are graduating. You have studied hard to earn your place at this ceremony and to have achieved a valuable qualification from a distinguished university, which has more than a century of service and achievement behind it and a very bright future ahead of it. You can be confident that the qualification that you have earned from Cardiff University is held in the highest regard, not just in Britain, but worldwide, which is a very important consideration for a university which competes on a global basis and for students who wish to pursue careers internationally. This reputation has been earned because of the importance which the university attaches to its teaching mission. Our pride in the quality of the awards that Cardiff University offers is backed up by the strong and clear external endorsements received from the National Quality Assurance Agency and from the many other professional accrediting bodies with whom the university works. To maintain these high standards, the university continues to invest in this important area. For example, a £20 million investment to provide purpose-built premises for the School of Optometry and Vision Sciences, providing space and resources for world-class teaching and research, is now open. Work towards a £15 million PET scanner, which you all know is not for your Labrador or your cat, but is a positron emission tomography scanner, and other studies, is currently underway. New lecture theatres and continuing investment in IT all help to improve the quality of Cardiff's learning environment. Employers endorse that quality. The university continues to be targeted by major employers, and the employment levels of our graduates remain strong. I trust that has been the experience that you have found if you are about to embark on your careers. And whilst those of you continuing your studies will find that you have a solid foundation on which to build. Cardiff is one of the leading research universities. It's ranked 7th out of 106 institutions in the UK for the quality of research undertaken, with well over £100 million of competitive research grants won by the university this year alone. We look forward to continuing to push forward discovery and knowledge that delivers significant social, cultural and economic benefits and makes a difference to the lives of real people in terms of health, employment, culture and the overall quality of life. Promoting health and welfare with a special reference to the needs of Wales is an important role of the university, and one which is fulfilled by a strongly interdisciplinary and multi-partnership approach. Central amongst our partners in this all-Wales role is the National Health Service, with which the university is linked at all levels. A new and exciting venture for us this year is the opening of the prestigious Cardiff International Academy of Voice, a world-class institution for exceptional singers at an early stage of their professional career. Under the directorship of the renowned Welsh tenor Dennis O'Neill, the Academy concentrates on the musical style, stylistic issues and vocal technique. We're delighted that Gege Nemeti, a student of the Academy, will perform for us later in the ceremony. There is much more that I could point to as evidence of the international distinction of this university, including the prizes, awards, and other distinctions earned by the academic staff, the numerous designated centres of excellence, ranging from the Cardiff University Brain and Repair Imaging Centre, known as Kubrick, through our eScience Centre and the Wales Gene Park. The list is long and distinguished. But let us get on with the ceremony itself, with the reading of the graduation proclamation in English and Welsh by Sinead Lewis, who has just completed her first degree studies in the School of Welsh and is graduating this year with a BA in Welsh. Sinead.
Nerth gwlad ei gwybodaeth, a nation's strength is in its learning. Boed hysbys I holl aelodau'r brifysgol ac ar hyd ar lled y byd, bod cynulliad o Brifysgol Caerdydd yn cael ei gynnar heddiw ym Mhrifddinas Cymru. O dan awdurdod siarter frenhinol y Brifysgol, mae'r cynulliad hwn yn cyfarfod I dderbyn myfyrwyr sydd yn rhinwedd eu hastudiaethau a'u hysgol heicdod, wedi haroli'n briodol yn unol â statudau'r Brifysgol ac wedi cael yn deilwng o'i graddau. Wrth ddathlu llwyddiant yr rhai sy'n graddio yn y cynulliad hwn, fe'i hatgoffwn o'i cyfrifoldeb I gyfrannu o werthoedd y brifysgol hon. Nod iddynt hwy yw ceisio drwy eu cyflawniadau wasanaethu lles pawb, ymdrechlu I sicrhau rhagoriaeth ym mhob peth, ac yn boeni am ddyfodol ein byd. Gwrandewch yn awchus ar ddoethineb, gan ei fod yn cynnig gobaith a gwirionedd ym mhob cenhedlaeth. Nerth gwlad ei gwybodaeth, a nation's strength is in its learning. Let it be known to all members of the university and throughout the world that today in the capital city of Wales, a congregation of Cardiff University is taking place. Under the authority of the university's Royal Charter, this congregation meets to receive those students who, by virtue of their studies and scholarship, have been appropriately examined according to the statutes of the university and found worthy of their degrees. We celebrate the success of those who graduate in this congregation, and in doing so, remind them of their responsibility to share in the values of this university. It is for them to seek, through their achievements, to serve the common good, to strive for excellence in all things, and care for the future of our world. Be attentive to wisdom, for it offers hope and truth in every generation.
I, Professor Bernard Moxham, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Catherine Laura Bell. David Charles Biffin. Yin Man Chung. Olivia Joan Cook. Maria Louise Cox. Claire Elizabeth Udall. Hayley Jean Fowler. Lucy Holland. Lisa Marie Jenkins. Jonathan Richard Lowry. Victoria Helen Lewis. Yun Lin. Catherine Louise Latimer Pierce. Jonathan Mark Reynolds. Bethan Meyer Roberts. Lorna Francis Rudge. Laura Samantha Sibley. Anthony William Spiller. Katie Louise Thomas, Kirsten Elizabeth Bann, Claire Louise Beeville, Rachel Bowers, Jonathan Broadest, Jennifer Lois Chapman,
Pnawn da, good afternoon. At this point in the ceremony, and at other equivalent times, it is a tradition of the university for the Vice-Chancellor to speak in Welsh to receive each group of graduates to their awards. The Welsh phrase I will use, when translated, means, "Through the authority conferred upon me by the university, I receive you to the degree which I will name, and to all the privileges of that degree. Prwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd aglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrindiau rathon." Congratulations.
Sarah Ann Charlesworth, Shireen Louise Clothier, Jennifer Cox, Samantha Lynn Davis, Hannah Deakins, Karen Rebecca Dunn, Catherine Louise Elsey, Leah Maud Natalie Ensel, Sarah Jane Etherington, Priya Fazal, Daniel Philip Fowler, Stephanie Jane Fox, Samantha Brenda Gascoigne, Rachel Ann Hannon, Stuart Paul Hayes, Jacqueline Ann Helm, Stephanie Elaine Hollis, Carly Ann James, Caris and Harad Jones, Zoe Lorraine King, Catherine Kissack, Charles Allen Lemazura, Kate Sarah Marsh, Freya Marie Valerie McCall, Catherine Ann McGill,
Prwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd aglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrindiau rathon. Congratulations.
Daniel James Morris, Claire Mosley, Jack David Nichols, Gareth Ewan Palmer, Stuart Morris Patterson, Sharon Eileen Peaver, Matthew Rees Phillips, Daniel David Prideaux, Zoe Louise Roberts, Catherine Roach, Michael Alexander Rosa, Gemma Carly Sharp, David William Graham Stanton, Michael Anthony Sutton Croft, Helen Jessica Theed, Richard James Thompson, Lena Floyd Williams, Lucy Gillian Willis, Sean Emma Woodman, Abir Al-Hamadi, Philip John Barber, George Alexander Hesmond Hall, Amy Melati Malid Hanafi, Imran Hussain, Ji-Yu Meng,
Prwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwyd I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrengau rathon. Congratulations.
Peter Michael Newell, Emma Louise Bainan, Sally Claire Brooks, Rose Alice Camden, Luke Thomas Dunning, Ziggy Joe Jenkins, Laura Suzanne Jennings, Laura Marie Jones, Jane Jukes, Cara Ann Coalition, Gillian Elizabeth Moore, Roxanne Nethercott, Jacqueline Berengaria Platt, Ellen Gwen Litlian Richards, Fiona Sandra Ross, Teresa Maria Marang Weimar, Dalal Al Othman, Sean Bayliss, Ella Boozy, Gavin Jerry Bray, Dean Bryant, Laura Ann Evans, Harriet Natasha Fade, Cheryl Elizabeth Fulcher, Martin George,
Trwy awdurdod o brifysgol, ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau rochon. Congratulations.
Thomas Mark Hodgson, Kate Louisa Lamb, Jennifer Lawton, Daniel Morley, Natalie Rhiann Neville, Adelia Desiree Parry, Geraint Ryan Pearson, Nicholas John Redrup, Rhys David Roberts, Bianca Roskilly, Gizem Vural, Bethan Watts, Susanna Jane Williams, Kelly Jane Baker, Matthew Llywelyn Humphrey, Lawrence Lindenberg, Philip Norville, Gareth Ewan Pearce, Lucy Elizabeth Powles, Sarah Jane Punton, Rachel Alice Riley, Christopher Brian Thomas, Emma Rachel Williams, Jennifer Allen,
Trwy awdurdod o brifysgol, ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau rochon. Congratulations.
Rose Alexandra Barker, Laura Brown, Elise Claire Bruckner, Matthew William Burbridge, Charlotte Emily Coles, Sophia Claire Coleman, James Cox, Daniel Ian Cripwell, Thomas Ward Crowther, Catherine Davidson, Francis Dixon, Catherine Louise Eddy, Joanna Charlotte Ferris, Anna Garland Thomas, Christopher John Grant, James Hansford, Helen Elizabeth Hedworth, Chloe Helm, Penny Lane Helm, Rhiann Louise Hobra, Andrew Mark Huff, Claire Louise Install, Claire Eastmond James, Nicole Amy Jenkins, Archie James McQueen,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I rar baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrengau rahon. Congratulations.
Laura Helen McGregor. Scott Wesley Mackenzie. Emma Jane Morgan. Anna Louise Owen. Jennifer Parks. Tim Power. Gregory Martin Prince. James Ridgway. Emma Jane Rosenfeld. Claire Louise Robury Eels. Emma Louise Salter. Anna Felicity Sanders. Catherine Ann Saunders. Owen Shelley. Eleanor Sherrard Smith. Emily Charlotte Smith. Anne Juliet Taylor. Jodie Lee Thomas. James Matthew Thompson. Samuel John Trembath. Nicholas Walton. Gwynant Rhys Watson. Jennifer Ann Watts. Shelley Ann Watts. Alice Claire Williams. Natalie Williams.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol, a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I rar baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrengau rahon. Congratulations.
I, Professor John Kay, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Oliver Anthony Anderson. Matthew John Cox. Katie de Bono. Christopher Mark Dillingham. Non Ancharad Evans. Kathy Grace Johns. Ariba Muish Khan. Larissa Nelson. James Andrew Noakes. Rajinder Santer. Morgan John Whitehead. Edward Shreesbarnett. David William Bird. Patrick Duncan Campbell Brown. Claire Elizabeth Chivers. Gareth John David Dabbs. Daniel Joseph Davis. James Alistair Dempsey. Hayley Gabrielle Joan Fellows, Claire Marie Herbert, Paula Jane Marie Hodgson, Claire Alison Job, Natalie Sarah John, Cassia Lemarcon,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwythoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Rebecca Louise Marriott, Richard Mark Morton, Kelly Pugh, Niksha Shimanlal Shah, Poonam Shimanlal Shah, James Thomas, Gareth Rhys Williams, Daniel Wilson, Kelvin Andrew Wood, Omar Akhtar, Mark William Aldred, Catherine Shan Alexander, Claire Allen, Lynn Louise Allwood, Carrie Ball, Thomas James Barrett, Anya Constanza Bloom, Cameron John Chandler, Jennifer Ann Court, Emma Jane Davis, Geraint Ashley Davis, Lindsay Allison Davis, Robert James Durkin, Sian Elizabeth Evans,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwythoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Charlotte Gordon, Joanne Marie Griffiths, Kaylee Marie Holt, Jennifer Ann Howard, Morgan Jones, John David Mason, Stephen James Millership, Zamzam Abdullahi Hussein Mayer, Jo Chun-Yi Shrees Thomas Osborne, Elizabeth Palmer, Andrea Ruth Parker, Owen Morgan Peters, Luke Piggott, Daphne Randall, Hannah Louise Rees, Jennifer Rachel Richards, Ryan John Russell, Lauren Alexandra Surety, Christopher Gareth Smith, Colette Rose Colette Thorne, Owain Clear Thomas Walker, James Weltzer,
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn bethoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Nicola Jane Evans, Naomi Jane Forrester, Stephen Paul Holmes, James Michael Meacock, James Alec Pugh, Geraint Lloyd Sullivan, Stuart John Bunyan, Laura Jane Christian, Karen Cockram, Fian Catherine Groves, Jessica Louise Hensman, Amy Charlotte Hetherington, Catherine Alison Jones, Leah Grace McCarthy, Natalia Sad Alazawi, Gareth Roland Blades, Anthony Brooks, Nia Rube Kayson, Emma Colleen, Emma Sean Ford, Emma Gohill, Julia Rose Habbins, Lisa Marie Harris.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Elliot King. Rodri Owain Lloyd. Naomi McCandless. Noor Ailing Mohammed. Catherine Louise Patnett. Edward William James Pritchard. David Philip Spencer. Elizabeth Marie Stevens. Lee Anthony Usherwood. Jill Watson. Abigail Mary Dalzell. Andrew Peter Finlay. Howell Hemsworth. Thomas David Lee. Chloe Elizabeth Maxwell. Mohammed Azim Mulan. Rebecca Pike. Elizabeth Ann Ross. Nicola Kate Selvey. Natasha Sharman. Carly Nicola Taylor-James. Nasrin Sadat Vassal. Imandeep Kaur Bansal. Sarah Catherine Barnes. James Peter Bathy. Benjamin John Albert Bowering. David Brooks. Miriam Elizabeth Sire Brown. Martin Cole. Eleanor Pamela Doyle.
Prwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniau chwi I radd baglor mewn gwythoniaeth ac I holl ffraniau rathon. Congratulations.
Adam Michael Groves. Jennifer Ann Hawthorne. Helen Margaret John. Rachel Claire Locke. Anthony David Merritt. Carrie Owen. Georgia Patterson. Natalie Frances Marie Perumal. Annika Tara Rebai. Noraskia Shapi. Gaynor Ann Smith. Samuel Paul Squires. Lee Thomas. Jeanette Trickey. Ellen Trott. Hilary Sean Whitworth. Christopher Peter Lawrence. Rebecca Oatley. Samuel Kenneth Paul. Sarah Elizabeth Siddle. Sophie Smith, Victoria Jean Warner,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl ffrania rachon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Nick Fidian, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Robert Amos, David Ap Thomas, John David Blackmore, Ross Peter James Borkett, Paul Oliver Bradley, Alistair Edward Calvert, Adam James Cousins, Nicholas Downton, David Dulson, James Anthony Edwards, Rhys Christopher Evans, Mark Gareth Gabb, Richard Griffiths, John James Hammond, Colin Chapman,
Rwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl ffrenia rachon. Congratulations.
Enoch Ho, John Gavin James, Adam John Leach, Ellen Meyer Lloyd, Damien John Lloyd Jones, James Eric Molyneux, Michael William Payne, Jennifer Christine Rathmell, Barry Lee Thompson, Thomas Williams, Robert Barish, Oliver James Freeman, Alan James King, James Luck, Glenn William Scott Powell, William Staybaker, James Crosby, Christopher Mark Eccles, Matthew Robert James, Thomas Bernard Murphy, Christopher James O'Shea.
Prwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl ffreniau y rachon. Congratulations.
Richard John Reed. Stephen Wern. Joseph Dunn. Richard Iftid Lewis Hicks. Sharbel Hock. Sam Hughes Gage. Gavin Kedrin James. Bafjar Kurtelage. Paul Anthony Centre. Ellis Patrick Harkins. Benjamin John Adrian Carrier. Robert Evans. David Wilkins. Charlotte Clark. Tony John Graham Davis. Suzanne Elizabeth Donovan. David Robert Field. Timothy Rupert Grimstone. Lisa Rose Hamilton. Dominic Overton.
Prwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniau ac I holl ffreniau y rachon. Congratulations.
I, Professor Nick Fidian, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Engineering. Luke Stephen Pearce.
Prwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniad chwi I radd athro mewn peirianneg ac I holl ffreniau rachon. Congratulations.
Anrhydedd is-ganghellor, cyflwyniad I ti ddisgyblion o'n prifysgol ni a enillodd radd baglor yn y celfyddydau. I, Professor Russell Davis, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Helen Price. Julia Bridget Pyle. Andrew Paul Hambleton. Simon Alden Taylor.
Prwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi, I radd baglor yn y celfyddydau ac I holl ffrenia radd hon. Congratulations.
Anrhydedus is-ganhellor, gyflwynaf I ti, disgyblion o'n prifysgol ni, a enillodd radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth. I, Professor Russell Davies, introduce those who have received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Lucy Barker. Rhiannon Bevan. Carol Ann Bryan. James Davison Bygate, Rachel Bethan Coombs, Andrew Edward Cotterill, Adam John Cottrell, Claire Cowell, Amanda Elizabeth Cox, Laurie Ann Davis, Jason Fish, Peter Frayne, Michelle Louise Greenbank, Adam Lewis Hales, Christopher Howard, Rebecca Hughes, Barry Kenyon, Gareth Knight, Andrew Kerg, Matthew Timothy O'Reilly, Stuart Gary Petherick, Louisa Rose Polly, Sarah Ann Price, Isabella Saunders.
Trwy awdurdod y brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi, derbania chwi, I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffreniau radd hon. Congratulations.
Emily Jane Stebbins, Bethan Jane Thomas, Christopher Charles Tan, Stuart Whitehurst, Samantha Mary Baker, Christopher James Bushell, Aidan Casey, James Edwin Channon, Maxwell James Fennelly, Neil John Goulding, Och Alexander Hill, Derek Hillen, Ryan James Livingston, Chin Pang So, Richard Stringer, Hannah Elizabeth Wheeland, Derek Samuel Lloyd Williams, Alex Michael Goss, Joseph Aldridge, Jennifer Kate Allison,
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrengau radd hon. Congratulations.
Stephen David Blue, Cerys Eleri Bowd, Timothy David Briggs, Catherine Bryans, Nathan James Bull, Victoria Louise Chase, Lucy Jane Comins, Brian Ian Crowlgroves, Rachel Elizabeth Dale, James Philip Elgar, Rachel Mary Ellery, Lisa Angharad Ellis, Lloyd Wynne Evans, Ross James Ferrugia, David Michael George, Samuel John Gilbert, Matthew Stephen Hooper, David John Hubbard, Emma Sophie James, Stephen David James, Rhys Bowen Jones, Thomas Arthur Jones, Daniel Stephen Lehman.
Trwy awdurdod y Brifysgol a ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwyddoniaeth ac I holl ffrangau radd hon. Congratulations.
Timothy Littler, Alice Jemima Loomas, Ruth Mary Lowe, Hector Mageha Subash, Thomas Christopher Mason, Rory Bernard McKenna, Colin Anthony Morris, Richard Michael John Nangalia, James Payne, Jonathan Edward Palmer, Matthew Charles Pamphleon, Andrew Christopher Picton, Catherine Japheth Roberts, Robin Lloyd Russell, Hiral Ramesh Shah, Nishma Ashok Shah, Giovanna Tamburello, Angharad Mayer Walters, Matthew Paul Wellington, Tom Wilkinson.
Rwy awdurdod o brifysgol am ddirgedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd baglor mewn gwythoniau ac I holl ffreinio'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fedeski, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Science. Luke Barfield. Ibaronke Havsat Dawudu. Tom Hall. David Mailer Howells. Matthew Stephen Joyce. Neil Morgans, Sunil Singh, Daniel Nicole Velter, Emlyn Robert Lewis Williams, Imran Qureshi, David Reginald Scantlebury, Mohammed Anas Tawili,
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am ddirgedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn gwythoniau ac I holl ffreinio'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fedeski, introduce those who have received the degree of Master of Philosophy. Shin Tsai. Michael William Daly.
Rwy awdurdod a brifysgol am ddirgedwyd I mi derbaniaf chwi I radd athro mewn athroniaeth ac I holl ffreinio'r radd hon. Congratulations.
I, Dr. Michael Fedeski, introduce those who have received the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Omnia Alam. Tracy Beecham. Dora Connor Casey. Luke Thomas Chapman. Esther Clues. Victoria Louise Gray. Christina Harris, Moira Howie, Gareth Wynne Jones, Jason Stewart King, Polly Ann Lawler, Sarah Michelle McLeod, Vipal Savoni, Dietrich Schwarzkopf, Ilario Siciliano, Catherine Ann Thomas, Gareth John Williams, Jodie Wren.
Trwy awdurdod a brifysgol, ymddiriedwyd I mi derbaniau chwi, I radd doethir mewn athroniaeth ac I holl ffrengau radd hon. Congratulations.
Well done. You did it. Made it across the stage, shook the right hand and found a seat again. Congratulations. Can I invite all of you who've received your awards this afternoon to now stand so that you can receive the greetings of the representative of the University President, Mrs. Fiona Peel, and the representative of the Students' Union, Ms. Katie Dobbs. Please stand.
May your care ever be for the success and good name of our university and our country.
You are now members of the distinguished alumni of this university. May your association with the university be cherished and be constant throughout your life, and may your care ever be for the fellowship of our university and the welfare of all people.
Before all of you sit down, I'm sure you'd all like to join us in a long-standing university tradition at these ceremonies, and that is for you to pay a special tribute to your families and friends, and indeed to the academic staff who've supported you, whether academically, emotionally, and no doubt financially, over many years, and who have helped you reach this important point in your life today. Can I invite all of you then to turn around and greet your family and friends, wave into the camera perhaps if they're not here with you today, and say a very special and public thank you and a large cheer to them. So please, give them a big wave and an enthusiastic round of applause. Thank you. Please sit down.
Vice-Chancellor, sir, it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce Elaine Morgan as a Fellow of the University. So, theories of human evolution have a very special urgency in contemporary culture, unprecedented probably since the very first reception of Darwin's Origin of Species. Reason and scientific evidence are repeatedly confronted by blind faith and assertion. But reason does not lead us to a single monolithic orthodoxy. Evolutionary theories themselves propose competing stories of the emergence of the distinctively human. When, sir, I was a sadly inadequate student of physical anthropology 40 years ago, I and my fellow students grappled with at least two narratives of human evolution: human origins in trees and human origins scampering about on the savannah. It has, sir, been Elaine Morgan's distinctive contribution to urge a different narrative. Her ideas, if I may say so, suggest a rather more charming location for the emergence of human evolution, the seaside, as it were. In her widely read book, The Descent of Woman, published in 1972, she brought to prominence the idea that early humans might have spent much of their time in and by the water. In all, she has published 6 books on human evolution. In 1997, she revisited her ideas in a book called The Aquatic Ape Hypothesis, a new edition of which was published in 2005. It has been Elaine Morgan's distinctive contribution to recognize that our theories of human evolution are value-laden. Hers has been an explicitly feminist response to many prevailing scientific ideas. In her most recent book, Pinker's List, she's taken on the ideas of Steven Pinker, again uncovering the implicit ideological ideas that underlie much science. It is, Vice-Chancellor, one thing to have original or even controversial ideas. It is yet another to communicate them effectively. And Elaine Morgan's gift is for communication. She was a very successful author and scriptwriter before she began writing about science. Numerous awards for her television work include 3 BAFTAs, 2 Writers' Guild Awards, and a Prix Italia. The Royal Television Society made her Writer of the Year for her dramatisation of Vera Britton's autobiography, Testament of Youth. Her work reached a huge audience when she wrote the scripts for Dr. Finley's casebook. Vice-Chancellor, sir, I shall refrain from my much-loved impression of Dr. Cameron in presenting Elaine Morgan for her fellowship at this university. Andrydeddus Isganhellor, cyflwynaf I ti Elaine Morgan, fel camrawr ar anrhyded Prifysgol Cardiff.
Rwy'r awdurdod a roddwyd i ni gan y Cyngor derbaniad di fel cymrawd anrhyded Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to say how honoured I am to be receiving this fellowship. And secondly, I would like to stress that I have more reason than most to be grateful for it, because I did get off to a very bad start, particularly on the science side. I picked up the idea of the waterside origin from Professor Alistair Hardy of Oxford. I incorporated it in my first book, which was, as a book, successful, but the scientific community, without exception, declared it to be absolute rubbish. I'm not complaining about this. They had every right to do so. I was a middle-aged female TV writer with no scientific qualifications other than 3 O-levels, and those I had earned quite a long time before. And I was trying to tell them they were wrong. They had every right to say it was rubbish, particularly because, apart from the lack of qualifications, the style was all wrong. It was flippant, and it was combative, and it was under-rehearsed, and they didn't like it, and that is not how you do science. So the sensible thing for me to do would be to go back to writing fiction. But by the time I started reading science, I found I could not go back to writing fiction because fact was so much more absorbing. I decided I would try to educate myself up to the point where I could talk their language and perhaps they would listen. It is possible to educate yourself, but take my word, it is not to be recommended. If you're working on your own, you can waste huge amounts of time trying to find out information, while not knowing what's been done already. And if you are in a university where you've got tutors ready to show the ropes to you and guide you, I advise you to hang on there and make the most of it. But even on my own, I was able to learn quite a lot in 30-odd years. Well, so should anybody. I wrote the second and third and fourth and fifth books, and by that time, had I convinced them? No, not yet. Most of the anthropologists you would talk to would still say, no, she hasn't proved it. It's not proven, and we don't like it, and we've got to search for other answers. But although they've not given it acceptance, they don't any longer treat it with contempt. The last book got quite a decent review in Nature. You may have heard 2 radio programs earlier this year presented by Richard Attenborough, given it a good name, and even the standard textbooks like Foley and Lewin now give it a couple of pages acknowledging that it's there. But now I've come across a new problem. I found through the internet that a lot of people, especially in America, are going around saying, oh yes, well that was only a fad of the 70s. I mean, we don't talk about that anymore. Elaine Morgan, well, I mean, she must be dead by now, and she's not dead, she must be gaga. Well, you can see that I'm not dead. I hope you can see that I'm not gaga. But it was only when I received this invitation from the Vice-Chancellor that I stopped to realize that I haven't published anything for the last 10 years. No wonder they think I'm dead. Time to put my socks up. So I have written a 15-page account that would be understandable by beginners of the idea, where it came from, how it was treated, and where we stand today. It's going to be put on a website. The website will be up and running by the end of this week, and you can find it at elainemorgan.me.uk. And I'm thankful to this place for giving me the inspiration to do that. I think I have made you understand why I regard this fellowship as a kind of absolution. I feel that the academic world has finally forgiven me for the brash way I tried to gate crash on your domain all those years ago when I had no right to do so. I think that the open-mindedness that's been shown in inviting me here is one of the most valuable aspects of the scientific method. I have learned a great respect for the scientific method in those 30 years and for all the scientists and technologists who work in it. And I'm delighted to find that that open-mindedness is flourishing today in the University of Wales. Diolch yn fawr.
Vice-Chancellor, sir, I have the honour to present Sarah Parkin as a Fellow of the University. Sarah Parkin is a founder director of the Forum for the Future. She's been a writer, a broadcaster, and a campaigner on the environment and sustainable development for over 30 years. She played a major role in the development of the Green Party in the United Kingdom and the European Green Party. She designed the pioneering Forum Leadership for Sustainable Development programme. She sits on the board of the Leadership Foundation, and she is a member of the Natural Environment Research Council. She has had a major role to play in integrating sustainability into education, and especially into post-school education. Sarah Parkin has championed the view that sustainability literacy should join information and computer technology as one of the key literacies for the 21st century. And to paraphrase her, that includes understanding the need for change to a sustainable way of doing things, individually and collectively, and the shared knowledge to enable citizens to act and to make decisions that are compatible with sustainable development. So Cardiff University shares these values, these aspirations, not least in our major research centre on business responsibility and sustainability, our programme of research on waste management, and the fact that members of our School of Architecture are currently leading a major Welsh initiative on sustainable building, Construction Knowledge Wales. We recognise through our teaching, through our research, and through our own corporate activities, our responsibility to work towards sustainability in our own affairs and in the affairs of others. We therefore today honour Sarah Parkin for her sustained work in taking such a leading role in making the degradation of our environment a central theme both in public discourse and global politics. Yn rydeddus is gan hellor, cyflwynaf I ti, Sarah Parkin, fel camrawr ar anrhyddedd Brifysgol Cardiff.
Cywir awdur dod a roddwyd I mi gan y cyngor derbaniad di, fel cymrawd anrhydedd Brifysgol Caerdydd.
Thank you very much indeed, Vice-Chancellor, your colleagues. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm completely honoured to be one of the graduates of this great university. And I'm delighted to be on, as it were, with Elaine Morgan. I'm a great fan, and it's just wonderful to be with you here on this great day. It's particularly good to be graduating with some of the disciplines that are going to be so important to understanding not just the world we live in now, but how we can live better in the world in the future. In the Biosciences, you will have a big role to play in the future in helping others understand how to live within the biological limits of the Earth. It is already estimated that each year we are consuming and using more than the Earth itself can regenerate in those 12 months. So we're living on capital, not on income, so to speak. And the computer scientists, you've got an enormous role to help us understand new ways of calculating, of crunching numbers and ideas, and of communicating and of extending our creative capacity. And hopefully it's going to be one of the ways we can stay connected in the future, when maybe travelling around is not going to be quite as easy as it is now. But I do ask you to remember that the human brain actually remains one of the, well, it is probably the most powerful nonlinear computer around. And we devote about 20% of our metabolism to our brain, and there must be a reason for that. And I think that reason is to exercise wisdom and judgment so that we can take control of what we do in the future. Maths and engineering and other disciplines that are really terribly important to be able to comprehend and analyse not just the world, but in particular to design solutions to the problems we have. And it will be all of you collaborating, the sciences, the biological and physical sciences, the computer sciences, and engineering. Cardiff's rightly famous for its engineering, to help us with some of the biggest challenges that we face. I've spent 30, 40 years campaigning for a more sustainable path of human progress. And though I'm a Scot and I know that a lot of rain in the devolved administrations is not evidence of climate change, because we live with that on a very regular basis, scientists are now saying that we are living in a time of climate destabilisation, and we've got probably about a decade to realign investment and the way we do things so that we radically reduce the amount of carbon dioxide emissions that we put out. There are signals from the Earth, not just in the climate, that we are living beyond our means. Now, your degrees put you in a leadership role for actually what are going to be really big and exciting times, because cutting carbon dioxide emissions actually is almost like a second industrial revolution, because we are so wasteful of the way we use energy, of the way we use biological and all sorts of other raw materials. And so it's A, mission possible, and B, a tremendous opportunity for your generation. I've spent a very long time ranting and arguing that we have to do it, but now there's quite a considerable consensus among politicians, and even in the United States, that we have to do things now, and we've got to do them quite quickly. So the challenge is to build a new way of doing things that's low in carbon, that is socially just, but is also enjoyable. So it's an honour to graduate alongside you. This is a fantastically great university. I'm extremely proud, as I'm sure you are, and I wish you very, very well in whatever your career may be. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you can now understand why Cardiff is proud to welcome such determined and original thinkers and excellent communicators to our midst. We welcome you both. I would now like to ask you to join with me in welcoming Gegele Nemeti, who is going to sing for us. And he, as I said earlier, one of our young students at the Cardiff International Academy of the Voice. So we welcome Gegele. thank you to Gegeli and Catherine who accompanied him. It's now my duty to draw these proceedings to a close. This occasion is naturally one of the most pleasurable ones in the university calendar, and it has been a joy to be on the platform and to see the pride and relief of all the new graduates as they cross the stage. As you go as graduates into the world, I hope you take with you happy memories of your time here, confidence that your studies have been a valuable contribution to your lives, and a determination to use your talents in the service of humanity. Know that your relationship with Cardiff University is a lifelong one. As an alumnus, so long as you let us know where you are, our alumni office will maintain contact with you. It will enable you to share in the many benefits available to Cardiff alumni and help you to keep in touch with others from your time in Cardiff. I hope that your experiences here have changed your life for the better and will always remain an important part of who you are. Now go into the world and use the knowledge, skills that you have gained here to help change the life of others. Cardiff University is proud of you now and will continue to celebrate in your future achievements. I wish you all and every success in the future. Congratulations, good luck. Long gyfarchiad I a phob lwch. Thank you.